Alright, it's time for another Affinity photo tutorial. This one's more of image manipulation and compositing. So we're going to take this picture here and turn it into this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring in some text, some layer effects, some masking, some perspective shadows, some custom brushes, and some recoloring. So let's go ahead and turn that group off here. We'll open up this group, which just for right now has only the image in it. So the first thing we're going to do is let's come down to adjustments and add a recolor adjustment here. And with this one I went for kind of an orangey look, kind of like a apocalyptic Armageddon-y kind of looking thing here. Let's bring the saturation down just a little bit. That's a little too much. And for right now, we'll just leave that just like that. And let's go ahead and drop this recolor adjustment directly onto the background image so it's nested there. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in our text. So I'll go to the artistic text tool. I'm using a big chunky font. This is Arial Black. And we'll type in infinite. And we'll bring that in here. We're kind of where we want it, kind of just below the horizon line there. We've done a tutorial like this before on how to fade it out. Let's make it a little bit bigger for now. Okay, that looks like pretty much where we want to put it. All right, so let's take this out of here, put it above the background. We don't want to nest that in there. So the first thing we're going to do with the text is we're going to add some layer effects to it. Let's add an outline. And actually, you know what? Before we do that, before we do that, let's go ahead and duplicate that text because we're going to need another copy of it anyway. And let's go ahead and turn off that upper layer and we'll work on the bottom one here. So on the bottom one, let's add in some layer effects. We'll start off with an outline. And we don't need much here. We just, to give it a little bit of separation there, let's go with about a half a pixel. All right, we'll do that. That looks good. And we'll also add in an outer glow. So in the outer glow, to kind of blend it into this picture, let's change the color from white and grab the dropper. And let's pick a kind of a lighter color that's in the picture. That looks good. All right. And let's bring the radius up a little bit on that. Again, we're just trying to create some separation there. All right, close that down. And then, now that we've got our layer effects completed, let's take our background image and we'll go ahead and duplicate that as well. And let's drop that onto our text to create a mask there. So now you can see we have our letters are separated from the background there. Now the next thing we're going to need to do is we want to hide the bottom of the text there. What I'm going to do here is, before I do anything else, I'm not going to do anything else to this text later. So I'm going to go ahead and rasterize that. And we are going to get rid of this so the layer effects will be baked into it. All right. So now with that, let's pick our background picture and grab our selection brush tool, and we're going to go ahead and grab the foreground, not the sky. Grabbed a little bit too much there. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little there. We'll hold down our Option key and get our selection the way we want it. Okay, let's go ahead and invert the pixel selection. Then we're going to come over to our text layer and let's just add in a layer mask. And that will automatically get rid of that bottom portion of the text. And we'll hit Command D to deselect. All right, so far so good. Now let's turn on this other layer here. Okay, zoom out there. Let's come back to the text tool on that, and let's change the color of that from white to black, because this is going to create our shadow effect. And let's go ahead and flip that vertically, and then let's move it down. About there. Okay. So why don't we start off by giving that a Gaussian blur. Not too much, so I'll still be able to make it out. Live filters again, and let's add in some perspective. Actually, what we need to do is rasterize this layer as well. Now we can go ahead and add in some perspective. And this is to taste. You know, you can mess around with it as much or as little as you want. For purposes, that's fine. Let's go with that. And now let's go ahead and drop this one, this layer below our other text layer, like that. And we're going to have to do a little bit of cleanup on this as well. Let's add in a layer mask to this. And grab our brush. Make sure we have a somewhat soft brush on this. And we'll zoom in. And we're going to paint with black. And we're just going to kind of remove that edge there. We can see the land. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Okay, so what we can do now is on the bottommost background layer, the picture, let's go to our recolor adjustments there, and let's lower the lightness down. So again, we're bringing that text background a little, make it look a little bit brighter, create some contrast. And then probably the last thing I'm going to do to the image is add in those birds. And I went ahead and made a brush from a selection. I had never done that before, so I think I am going to do an easy tutorial on that. So let's come over to brushes and to my brushes. I've got a few in here, but this is a small flock of birds. So let's go ahead and add in a blank pixel layer. Make sure that we're painting with black here, and we'll go ahead and stick our birds in. I'll make a little phalanx of birds here. Now the only other thing that we might want to do is create a little brightness on the road here. You can kind of do this or not. Let's come in here and grab in our shape tools, we'll grab, for this purpose, a trapezoid. Let's flip our colors around, and let's add in trapezoid here. Do a little bit of resizing so that it fits on the road. And again, this is completely up to you if you want to do this. And let's change our fill color to this bright sky color here. And we'll change our blending mode, overlay. And so we can kind of mess with our control points here now to get it where we want it. That's looking pretty good. And play around with the opacity a little bit there. You know what you may also want to do here on this shadow text here. If we want at this point, we've got it where we want it. Let's go ahead and rasterize that. And then we can also add in a layer mask to that, kind of fade it out as it comes forward. So it's a little more subtle. Yep, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. If you did, please like the video. And if you want to, subscribe for more. And thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later. Bye.